could do it. That's the only way that. The only way it's going. Somebody said, "Well, let's do 6 teams and give the first 2 teams both." No, you don't give the first 2 teams buys. The object of the college football playoffs was to make people play for the national championship. Play being the key word. Not getting a bye, not doing that, because then you'll have people bitching that are at 3, like Florida State this year. With Florida State not a bitch because they didn't get a bye,
and they're undefeated.
Yeah. You can't do that. The key thing here is to make them play for the national title. That's it, bar none. The only way you're really going to get it is if you did the top 8.
Okay.
You do the top 8. 9 really doesn't have a thing to where they can bitch about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually a 9-win team now is going to have 2 or 3 losses.
Right.
The number 9 team. Usually going to, like Kansas State would be the team this year.
Okay.
And they'd had 2 losses. No, they would have 3. So they would really have no gripe. Because they lost to 2 teams that are in the tournament right now.
Right.
So, top 8 would be perfect.
Yeah, totally agree.
Perfect.
All right. Earlier you said Baylor, and me and you had this debate on and off here. And we just going to keep because we're different of opinions here. I definitely think TCU got screwed here as well. Both of them got screwed.
Both of them got screwed. Baylor
screwed.
got screwed more because they won the ball game against each other.
I think what got me is that
they were 3.
They was 3, and they dropped all the way to 6. And so it's kind of like, why would you put a team at 3?
Well, I told you.
Well, and I know you told me the scenario. Why would you put them at 3? Okay, yeah, Florida State had a horrible time against Florida. Yeah. I agree with that. So
Florida State's had a horrible time against every single person they play.
You can't sit there and make Florida State 4, bounce them up to 3, then you drop TCU from 3 to 6. Now the whole thing about the head-to-head is that, and I told you, it was a close game.
Yeah, it was a 3-point game.
Yeah, it was a 3-point game. Both of these teams have points to get in there.
And they scored 700 points that game.
Yeah, so I mean, when I look at their schedule, they're both fairly comparable here.
Well, it's because they played these same teams. The same teams.
Like, TCU played Oklahoma when it was ranked 4.
Look at the loss. The loss that Baylor had was to West Virginia.
Right.
TCU almost lost to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things, but the reason why they were 3 is because they already played Kansas State, and we talked about this before.
Right.
They played Kansas State before, and that's why they got at number 3. If they wouldn't have played Kansas State until later on in the year, and it would have been the other way around, it would have been flip-flopped.
They both got slapped in the face.
Yeah. They got.
So that's why I say you can make an argument for each one of them.
And these guys beat
solid teams.
3-4 teams that were in the top 25.
So both of them got.
They beat more top 25 teams than Florida State did.
Yeah.
And they beat more top 25 teams than Ohio State did.
So, man, you answered this question earlier. I mean, you said they should.
Without the struggles that Ohio State. You look at Ohio State's schedule real fast.
All right, Ohio State. Let's take a look.
Click it. Luckily, it's right there where it says Ohio State.
It's fun up here. Let me search it. I'm going to go ahead. See, now, before I look up Ohio State's schedule, do you think the Big 12 should have a title game?
Oh, yeah, they're going to have to, but they're going to have to get more teams in. Or they're going to have 2 5-team conferences, which will be a little...
kind of iffy about that.
Yeah, it'll be a little weird.
Yeah, that's why I'm... Okay, so here's Ohio State's schedule here.
Let's see, they played number 8, number 20. Okay, so they played the same amount of... Well, Minnesota is not in the top 25 anymore.
I mean, at the time it was 25, but if you look at TCU...
Well, at the time, Florida... At the time...
3, 4, 5 ranked teams.
At the time, Florida State played...
Baylor had played 1,
2, 3, 4. They played,
Yeah, 4 ranked teams. So, I mean, and then Ohio State here at the time, 1, 2, and 3 teams, and Wisconsin was the one that they beat.
Well, you look at Florida State's and they played ranked teams, but now where are those ranked teams at? Notre Dame's nowhere to be found.
Oh, yeah.
Notre Dame is nowhere to be found.
Oh, yeah.
Clemson struggled.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Oh, yeah, I'm just talking about the rankings at the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, and I agree with you. I think they should have the title game now because of this issue here. You want to see that head-to-head on a neutral site, it would have been interesting to see because that could have been the great divide right there.
But here's the funny part. What if they would have been in the same... Here's the funny part about it. What if they would have been in the same bracket? in their divisions. Like if Big 12 had 2 divisions, and TCU and Baylor were in the same one. Baylor's going to go to the championship.
Yeah, Baylor's going to go because they're the head-to-head.
Baylor's going to go to the championship game. But the playoffs would have had TCU ahead of them in their rankings. But they wouldn't have went to the They wouldn't have went to the title game, but they would still would ahead of them in the rankings. So it would have been one of those weird things to where you're looking at it. It's never going to get done right until they do this. Until they take the top 5 conferences, put the 5 champs in the playoffs. Then you go and you take 3 more people and put them in there. If you call them the Big 5 conferences, guess what? Having 4 teams in your playoffs ain't going to do diddly squat because you're missing out on one of the Big 5 conferences.
Yeah.
One of the Big 5 conferences is getting left out every single time as long as this takes place. One of them is going to be left out. What if next year Florida State, Jameis is gone, Florida State struggles, no one out of the SEC really distances themselves from each other? ACC is not going to have one next year. And they may have a team with 1 or 2 losses. And they're going to be like, hey, we should be in it. Well, they're not going to be in it because the other teams are going to have stronger and more to say about it.
Right.
And that's what's going to be wrong with it. You have Big 5 conferences. Big 5. Now, you have one of them left out. And to me, it's stupid. If you're going to call them the Big Power 5 conferences, then the Power 5 needs to be in the playoffs. The Power 5 champs need to be in the playoffs. So you need to figure out a way to put the champs. And I don't care if there's an upset along the way. Well, then the champ, that guys deserve to be there.
Yeah.
I don't care. They're a Big 5 conference. They're the champions. Like if Missouri would have beat Alabama, put them in because they just beat Alabama. Put them in. They're the champs. We always talk about how good the ACC or SEC. Put the champs in there. Put the ACC champs in there. Mm-hmm. If Georgia Tech would have won, they deserve to be in there.
Yeah.
And you put these guys in these situations. You put the champs in there. Then you could go and pick from losers of the championship game or these guys that are on the outsides looking in.
Right.
It's that simple. But
we
got common sense. And if it's about making money, you do that, you're going to make a ton of money. You're going to make a ton of money with playoff games.
Because it's not your team's got a day to live on and go to another playoff.
You got 8 teams. That's possibly 4 more bowl games.
4 more bowl games.
That's 4 more cities that are going to profit off of playoff games that you could put it in.
Some people get to watch their team twice. Some people get to watch their team 3 times.
Exactly.
Go to these games.
And
revenue goes in and out.
And the best part,
smart business.
And the best part of it, it takes away you scheduling cupcakes at the beginning of the year because it'll lessen the amount of games that you'll have. So you won't be playing your Valdosta States and your crap like that. It limits the amount of that crap you got to go through during the season. You play less. You play 1 less game a year. You'll play 1 less game a year. Add another conference game if you want to. Or take away a cupcake and add another conference game. Add another good away conference opponent. Do something besides scheduling people. And then you're like, well, that takes away from them making money. I don't care. I don't care. UAB made tons of money off of all these people because they schedule them as cupcakes. They stopped their football program, citing that they don't have enough money. Bitch, you get $800,000 to go play Florida. You get $800,000 to go play these other teams. How did y'all run out of money? Which I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about that. I feel sorry for them kids at UAB. For those guys that were promised they were going to be able to come there, play football, and go to school. Now, it's just like some of them said, now I can't even go to school because my family can't afford it. This was the place I was coming to school because you were letting me play football and you were giving me a scholarship. Now I can't even go to school anymore because there's no scholarship because y'all can't afford it. And it is horrible for those kids that were playing football. I'm just wishing they're able to go to other schools and play ball.
Yeah, me too, man.
It's terrible.
I heard that story, and like the guy said, like, listen, you go home at night, you sleep in your comfortable bed, and you.
But they kept basketball.
Yeah.
They kept basketball. Your big sport that brings in the most money is football in any school.
Yeah.
It's football.
It's the same, and I hope these kids.
They got rid of bowling too. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, shocker.
They got rid of bowling.
They need to try to hopefully someone working with these kids and find them somewhere to play football, give them their scholarship where they can continue their education and go on about their life.
Well, at least keep Well, and the bad part is they can't keep their scholarships because that's taking up money.
Well, you think that maybe they can keep their scholarships until they graduate.
Well, I hope they do the right thing, but you never know.
Yeah.
But these kids wanted to come and play ball.
Yeah.
And now they've had that taken away from them.
You're taken away from them.
Which is hard. I could see if it was like a small diddly-wink school, but dang, man.
D1.
You UAB, you've been playing football forever.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, let's move to football right quick. Kevin's here. But yeah, it's a sad story.
It's so sad.
All right, from one sad story to a crazy story to Cleveland. Johnny Football gets his first start against Cincinnati.
Next.
Hoyer has struggled mightily. In his last 29 series, he had one touchdown drive. Kevin.
Next.
I want your commentary on this right quick, man. I know you watch particularly a lot of football.
We get to see the train wreck happen.
Has the Hoyer era ending and
Johnny Football start because Hoyer's going somewhere else next year.
Because you know his contract. This is his
it's already been said that he's going somewhere else next year. Whether it be in a backup position or somebody needs a starter or something like that. Brian Hoyer won't be there. So now this is where Cleveland gets to go. Did we make the big gigantic mistake in drafting this kid? Or did we hit pay dirt when we drafted this kid? Look, the thing is, he's going to come out this game, he's going to look halfway decent because no one's ever seen him play before. No one's seen him play at the NFL level before. So he's going to come out, he's going to do some good things, but then he'll do some boneheaded plays. And that is what it's going to be. They're playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati will probably pick him off once. He'll probably get a couple of good runs where he'll be able to flash his little money symbol or do whatever. But I don't know how he's going to translate into the NFL. I just know that lately running and read option quarterbacks and stuff like that, they haven't been real good lately. Colin Kaepernick. Oh.
What you want to talk about him?
Robert Griffin III. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. Really bad. The only real one that's had any success is still having success is Wilson. He's the one that's really the only one doing it. Why? Because the dude's ultra talented and ultra smart.
I agree with you because this is his last year in his contract and he's going to be looking somewhere to go play.
Yeah, Hoyer's definitely going, anybody want me? And people are going to be like, after those 3 games, no.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the whole. I mean, I don't know. Do you think it was a little distraction because he kept hearing the whole Johnny Manizel? I mean, he did
because he did. He played well.
He played well in the beginning.
He played well, and then they played Jacksonville, and he didn't play well.
But once he started struggling, Johnny Manizel started.
Ever since that Jacksonville game, it's been like Hoyer's been good. I guess we can do that to you, but.
Why make this change now when they're
because
it's a game and
because
they still have a shot to playoff.
They want to see what they got out of him. I don't think they were going to make the playoffs anyway. Even if Hoyer would have started, I still don't think they would have made the playoffs anyway. Mm-hmm. But now they want to see what they got, what he has. I don't blame them because this is kind of when I thought Jacksonville would actually have put in Gabbert. Oh my Lord. Bortles. This is when I thought we would see Bortles. I think we would have seen him a lot later, but we seen him a lot earlier. But now is when they want to see what they got in Johnny Manizel. All the rookie quarterbacks are starting to play now. So
yeah, I still not too big on this change when you still have a shot. The question is, I don't know if they're going to. Of course, we don't know they're not going to make it or not. But you still have a shot. Make it. Well, you still have a shot there, and you send a message to the team like, okay, we're going to try another round. I mean, yeah, he's struggling and everything like that, and it's hard, but it's just a change.
The players around him are losing faith as well. So they making a change. Maybe he'll light a spark. Maybe he won't. Who knows? We'll just have to watch Sunday and see because now it's going to be on TV.
So extra fuel for this because Johnny Manizel
got called a midget.
by Marvin Lewis, and